या हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू ऑटोमेशन टेक सॉल्यूशन। सो आज के वीडियो में हम बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट लाइफ साइकिल मॉडल के बारे में जानेंगे। एसडीएलसी मॉडल्स के बारे में जानेंगे। बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है और बहुत बार इंटरव्यू में पूछा जाता है लाइक व्हाट इज एसडीएलसी मॉडल्स, और सेपरेटली भी पूछा जाता है लाइक व्हाट इज वाटरफॉल मॉडल, वी मॉडल, व्हाट इज रेड मॉडल, व्हाट इज प्रोटोटाइपिंग मॉडल और स्पाइरल मॉडल या एजाइल मॉडल। और नाउ इट इज लाइक 80% ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज following agile model. So agile model से related question पूछा जाता है like what is agile model, how many ceremony are there into the agile models, or what is a sprint, what is a sprint review. So similar way like sometime ask what is advantage and disadvantage of waterfall model and V model. So ये बहुत ही important topic है, चाहे आप automation इंजीनियर हो या ऑटोमेशन इंजीनियर की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं, चाहे लाइक मैनुअल टेस्टर हो और यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर इंटरव्यू, या फ्रेशर हैं यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर मैनुअल टेस्टिंग। सो दैट टाइम दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक। और हमें लाइक एज ए सॉफ्टवेयर टेस्टर हमें ये पता होना चाहिए लाइक हमारा जो एप्लीकेशन है या सॉफ्टवेयर है किस मॉडल को फॉलो करके राइट सॉफ्टवेयर को डेवलप किया जाता है। तो चलिए हम समझते हैं इसको डिटेल में वन बाय वन। व्हाट इज एसडीएलसी मॉडल। तो चलिए समझते हैं व्हाट इज वाटरफॉल मॉडल। So waterfall model is the oldest model of the software development. So waterfall model like initially first software model जो develop हुआ वो waterfall model है, and waterfall model is known as like linear sequential flow model. Why we call linear sequential flow model? Because in this model each phase should be completed before moving to next phase. So waterfall model में क्या होता है, जब तक एक फेज कंप्लीट नहीं होता है तब तक हम दूसरे फेज में मूव नहीं कर सकते हैं। लाइक जैसे मैं बात करूँ लाइक रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस, राइट, प्लानिंग एंड रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस, राइट। सो फर्स्ट पेज हमारा ये है। सो जब तक ये फेज कंप्लीट नहीं होगा तब तक वी विल नॉट मूव टू अदर फेज। सिमिलर लाइक वंस डिफाइनिंग requirement is completed, right, defining requirement, second phase of SDLC. So once defining requirement means like if we will prepare the SRC document, FRC document, then we can't do any modification in that one. So that is one disadvantages of waterfall model. So मैं बात करूँ एडवांटेज की, सो फर्स्ट एडवांटेज ऑफ वाटरफॉल मॉडल इज लाइक सिंपल एंड इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड। सो वाटरफॉल मॉडल क्या होता है, सिंपल होता है एंड इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड होता है। क्लियर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, बिकॉज in this model like each phase should be completed before moving to next phase, right? So suppose we are doing planning and requirement analysis, so जब तक like clear documentation like planning and requirement complete नहीं होता है तब तक हम किसी दूसरे फेज में मूव नहीं करेंगे। so that's why this is like clear documentation. Similar like defining phase, so if we are preparing like a functional requirement document या software specification requirement document और या business requirement document, then तब तक हम we can't move to other phases. So this is that's why this is a clear documentation. Next one like a structure approach and easy to plan and schedule. So waterfall model is like a structure approach होता है, it is easy to plan and easy to schedule. And अगर मैं disadvantages की बात करूँ तो rigid and lack of flexibility. So waterfall model होता है rigid model होता है because this is a linear sequential model. So इसमें like एक phase complete नहीं जब तक नहीं होता है we can't move to next phase. So suppose like if we are doing the coding, right, so similar times we can't do the like testing. So once like software like planning is completed, after like requirement analysis completed, then we will define the requirement, design the software, design the projects. Once like code is implemented, then we will move to testing. So, and if we wanted to change after like completion of any module or any like part of the application, so we can't do any changes, right? So that's why we call it this is a rigidity and lack of flexible. And late testing like in waterfall model we are testing the application once overall application is developed. So once application is not developed then we can't do the testing. So that's why um, this is a one disadvantages of waterfall model. नो वर्किंग सॉफ्टवेयर until डिप्लॉयमेंट। सो लाइक जब तक सॉफ्टवेयर को डिप्लॉयमेंट टेस्टिंग के बाद डिप्लॉयमेंट नहीं करते हैं तब तक कोई भी सॉफ्टवेयर लाइक कोई भी लाइक इनिशियल वर्जन या नो सॉफ्टवेयर विल बी अवेलेबल फॉर यूजर to use the application. Customer feedback is limited. So in waterfall model like जब तक सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप नहीं होता तब तक we are not releasing into the market or not releasing for the user. So if we are not releasing, so we can't get the any feedback from the user. And user feedback is very important to success of any application. So बिकॉज एट द लास्ट हम कोई भी एप्लीकेशन डेवलप करते हैं राइट, और कोई भी सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप करते हैं, एट द लास्ट एंड यूजर ही उसका यूज करने वाला है राइट. सो इसमें वाटरफॉल मॉडल में लाइक कस्टमर फीडबैक लिमिटेड है. लिमिटेड इसलिए है कि हम सॉफ्टवेयर को एट द लास्ट जब टेस्टिंग एंड ओवरऑल कंप्लीट हो जाता है देन वी विल रिलीज फॉर फीडबैक. Not ideal for complex project. So waterfall model is not good for ideal project because like complex project, because in complex project requirement are like changing frequently, or like time to time like we do the enhancement into the application. So we can't do that one into the waterfall model. Like once like defining requirement is completed, right, so we can't do any changes into that one. So that's why this is a one disadvantage for complex project. And waterfall model का जो main advantage is like if we have like a small project, right, so that time waterfall model is very useful. Why? Because in a small project like we have clear understanding of planning and requirement, clear understanding of like defining requirement, like preparation of FRC document. And once like FRC and SRC document is completed, then we'll develop the code, designing the software. We will design the software, then designing the product, then we'll do the implementation of code, then we'll perform the testing. So waterfall model is very useful when we have a small project, but for complex project or big project, this is not ideal, because if we can't do any modification into the next phase. सो अगर शॉर्ट में बताऊं वाटरफॉल मॉडल क्या है, तो वाटरफॉल मॉडल इज लाइक ओल्डेस्ट मॉडल ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट एंड इट इज नॉन एज ए linear sequential flow model. Why? Because in this model if one phase is completed we can't move to next phase. So this is all about waterfall model. आपको होप आपको समझ में आ गया होगा. नेक्स्ट समझते हैं कि लाइक व्हाट इज वी मॉडल. So V model is nothing but it is the abbreviation of verification and validation model. So it is the short, in short, we are calling as a V model. So V model is also known as verification and validation model, and it is the extension of waterfall model. So V model जो drive हुआ है, it is derived from the waterfall model. And इन वी मॉडल टेस्टिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट इज प्लान्ड पैरेलल, जैसे कि आप इस डायग्राम में देख रहे हैं राइट. सो टेस्टिंग एंड development is planned parallel, and verification and validation goes along with coding. So what are happening, like once coding is completed then verification and validation goes along with coding. So if I talk about V model, so there are mainly two phases in that one. First one we have like verification phase, and second one we have like validation. Verification and validation, there are two phases. So here we are seeing like left side, right, so that is verification, and testing is nothing but like validation. So what is happening, once code is designed and it is implemented for like module design. So if one module is designed, so that time we are performing like unit testing. So unit testing is nothing but in unit testing usually it is done by developer and sometime tester also. So what developer is doing in unit testing, they are just testing the module with like single input. um, Once like module more than two module is designed or architect design is completed, then it's similar time we are performing like integration testing. So we are just testing that whether module is working correctly with or integrating with like second module, or when we are redirecting to other module it is working fine or not. So once like more than two modules or three module is designed, or overall system is designed, right, so then we are performing system testing. So in system testing we are just we are focusing on like overall like testing of the application. So in system testing everything included like functional testing, regression testing, non-functional testing, and every like each types of testing we are performing on the system level. And once system testing is completed we are moving for requirement analysis. And in requirement analysis like we are doing acceptance test designing or acceptance testing we are performing. So in acceptance testing we are testing the application with the real world or how the real world user will interact with the software. So we are doing overall testing and we are performing acceptance testing there, whether like user is able to like how the user will use the application, whether user can use the application with like very easily or not. So all these analysis we are doing in acceptance testing. So if I talk about V model, so V model is nothing but it is the like abbreviation of verification and validation model. And if someone asks like what is V model, so you can simply say that V model is the abbreviation of verification and validation model, and it is like extension of a waterfall model, or it is derived from the waterfall model. And in V model, like testing and development is planned parallel. So if someone asks like why we call V model as a V model, so you can see, right, uh, it's verification and validation goes parallel, and it's look like letter V in alphabet, right? So that's why we called as a V model. uh, V model. So अब समझते हैं like what is advantage and disadvantages of V model. So advantages की बात करूँ first. So V model is like simple to understand. V model like it is very simple to understand, and testing techniques like preparation, test design take place in log advance of the coding. So before coding, like we are doing the planning and doing the test design and all. So this is the one of the advantages of V model. But waterfall model में actually क्या होता था, जब तक like one phase complete नहीं होता, right, जब तक like coding complete नहीं होता, then we can't do the testing, right? Once code is implemented and any module is designed, then only we can do the testing, right? But V model का ये advantages है, like we can plan and prepare the test design in advance of coding. And this is a quite time saving process, and that's why it is more success comparison to waterfall model. And it prevent the fall from spiraling downhill. So like in this phase V model, like we are doing like verification and validation we are doing at the same time, right? So there is no chances like at the time of testing, like overall uh, application is failed, or if we will release into the market, right? So user is like totally not interacting with the application in a good way. So that is the one like advantages, because at the same time we are doing the testing at the like at the time of development. So that is the like one of the major advantages of like V model. And if I talk about disadvantages of V model, so it is least flexible and highly steep. So V model is least flexible, and so actually V model is actually derived from the waterfall model, right? So similar, like it is not much flexible than other model, right? In other model we are releasing the application into the version, right? But in that V model we are not releasing the application into the version. So that's why this model is not that much flexible than other model. Like if you read if we will next we will understand like other model, right? So you know like that model is more flexible than V model. So this model is not that much flexible. V model is not suitable for like complicated project. So if we have like big project, right, so that time V model is not beneficial, because it is least flexible, and we can't change it, or we can't change it multiple things once one phase is completed. Or like if we are changing anything into the like module design, so at the same time we have to do changes into the like uh, into the like unit testing. So if we are going to do any changes into like verification phase, so we have to change the things into the validation also, right? So that's why this is not suitable for complex project. High risk and uncertainty. So if V model has high risk and uncertainty, and this model does not support iteration of the phases. So this means like V model does not support iteration, or it don't include like version of the software. Nowadays you can see, right, every application is released into the version. So and they are getting the feedback from the user, and we are implementing that feedback, and we are releasing into the market. But in V model, once like final product is like developed, right, then only we are releasing the product for user, or releasing the product into the market. So this is not ideal for complex project. This model does not support iteration of the page, and it does not easily handle concurrent events. So if we wanted to implement any new features at the time of development, right, so we can't do it. So V model is does not support that one. So होप आपको वी मॉडल समझ में आया होगा, राइट? एडवांटेजेस एंड डिसएडवांटेजेस. सो अगर वी मॉडल की एडवांटेजेस की बात करूं, अगर लाइक इन वन ग्लांस, so this is very simple to understand, and it's it prevents from like spiraling downhill, and this is like time saving compared to waterfall model. And this is like अगर disadvantages की बात करूँ, तो this is least flexible and highly steep, unsuitable for complicated project. High risk and un uncertainty is there, and ओके, सो लेट्स समझते हैं लाइक कि व्हाट इज रेड मॉडल. सो रेड मॉडल इज नथिंग बट RAID stands for Rapid Application Development. So if someone asks like what is RAID, so we can say that RAID is nothing but it stands for Rapid Application Development. A rapid model mainly focus on like rapid prototyping and quick iteration. So this it is designed to deliver software by faster and focusing on user feedback and iterative development. So what is happening, so whenever we required और जब हमें like एक requirement होती है कि like किसी भी application को like we have to develop faster, right, in faster or like 50 to 60 days, right? So that time we are following RAID model. So in RAID model, what is happening? Like once requirement analysis is completed, just we are preparing a rapid prototype and we are asking group of user to use that application and give the feedback. So once user is giving feedback, like we are implementing that feedback and again we are releasing for user to use that application. So user might be like some selected people or might be company employee or might be tester, and they will give the feedback and developer will again implement until the final product is not prepared. So RAID models involve close collaboration between developers and end users. So once application is developed, developer is sending for user and user is giving feedback and developer is implementing that feedback. So RAID model is a involves close collaboration between developer and end user to integrate to create a more efficient and flexible development process. अगर मैं एग्जांपल की बात करूँ, सपोज आई हैव टू लाइक आई नीड ए एप्लीकेशन लाइक ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग प्लेटफॉर्म की हमें रिक्वायरमेंट है, तो समझते हैं कि लाइक रेड मॉडल से हाउ आई विल डेवलप दैट एप्लीकेशन. So first one, what is that phases of RAID model? Requirement gathering. So suppose I have to develop a application online shopping platform. So first I will do the requirement gathering. So in requirement gathering, what we will do, like we will meet with stakeholders such as like company marketing team or potential user to gather basic information related to online shopping platform user authentication, product browsing, card management, and checkout and payment, right? So all if all the information is right gather, then what we will do, we will prepare quick prototyping. So once requirement is completed, we will prepare a quick prototype, like quick prototype how your online shopping platform look like, and we will add all those features like user authentication, product browsing, and card management, and we'll release it for like user feedback. So user prototype is shared with selected group of users, possibly the company employee or a small group of customer. And once user will give the feedback, uh, we'll do next phase. In next phase, like iterative development, we will implement the feedback, receive feedback, and team makes necessary improvement and enhancement to the prototype. And they might be the features like user review, payment option, and more polished user interface. So if I talk about next phases of like RAID, so repeat and refine. So we will repeat this process until like final product is prepare. So अगर मैं सिंपल में बात करूं, what is RAID model? So RAID model is nothing but it is abbreviation for rapid application development, and this model is mainly focused on rapid prototype and quick iteration. So suppose I have to prepare or I have to develop a application like online shopping platform, right? So first what I will do, I will do requirement gathering. So in requirement gathering, what I will do, like which types of user can use that application, or what features actually required for that particular online shopping platform. I will gather the information regarding that one, and after gathering information, what developer will do, developer will just create a like prototype of that application, and he or she might be sent for selected group of users. So that might be like company employee or a small group of customer. And once feedback is received, like developer will implement that feedback, and implement that feedback, and again it will send it for user to give the feedback. And once feedback is like given by the user, it will be again implemented until the final product is ready. So this is all about like RAID model. And in this model, like if we wanted to develop any application within like 2 months, right, or 50 to 60 days, so just we are preparing like rapid model. uh, and समझते हैं like what is a spiral model. So a spiral model is a nothing but it is a software development methodology that combine the element of both like waterfall model and iterative model in a structure way. So what we are doing in a spiral model, just we are combining like waterfall model and iterative model in a structure way. So this model is initially proposed in 1986 by Very, and spiral model is categorized by like iterative cycles, and each cycle consists like planning, risk analysis, and engineering and evaluation. And a spiral model is more flexible and accommodate changes throughout the development process. And a spiral model is like divided into the multiple phases that are repetitive in repetitive in cycle fashion. So uh, if I talk about like phases of a spiral model, so there are mainly four phases. First one is planning. So in planning, what we are doing, just we are identifying the objective, concentrate and alternative solution. And this phase involves like defining the scope of the project, determining the risk, and establishing the strategy to address them. So once planning is completed, we are doing risk analysis, and in risk analysis, we are evaluating evaluating and analyzing the risk associated with different solution. And this phase involve like identifying, accessing, and mitigating risks before moving forward. So usually like what we see in earlier model, right? In earlier model also we are using like iterative development, right? But we are not doing the risk analysis in the earlier model, what we seen like in waterfall model or in Rad model or in iterative model. But in a spiral model, what we are doing, just once like planning is completed, we are doing the risk analysis. So this spiral model is ideal, like ideal for like complex project, or like suppose if we are going to develop a application for like Chandrayaan 3, right? So in that application, there is a lot of money is going to invested, and like similar type, like a lot of manpower and a lot of time is going to consume there, right? So if we are going to design any complex project, so that time a spiral model is good, because in that model, like we are doing the development of the application or software in iterative way, as well as like we are doing the risk analysis. So in each and every phases we are performing the risk analysis, and once like risk analysis is completed, then we are moving to like designing of coding, testing, and integration of the software. And after in the engineering, we are doing the evaluation. So in evaluation, just we are reviewing the result obtained from the previous phase to determine if the project is on track and identify further risk associated with application. So this model is like quite good for complex project. Why? Because this model is more flexible, and we can do modification throughout the development process, and not like other models, right? We can't do more changes into like different phases, right? But these models allow you can do changes. This is more flexible, and in every phase, like we are doing risk analysis. So this is the one of the major advantages of a spiral model, and it's make more robust of a spiral model, because we are doing the risk analysis in each and every phases. And if I talk about like if I talk example of development of a new mobile application, so suppose I wanted to develop a new mobile application, right? So let's understand how we will use like a spiral model to develop a mobile application. So first, what we will do in initial phase, what we will do, the project team define the objective, constraint, and alternative solution of the application. So that is comes under like planning phase. Once like planning is completed, like objective is defined for the application and what is the alternative solution, everything is defined in planning, and how the application, mobile application look like, right? So once planning is completed, then we analyze the potential risk associated with that application, like technical feasibility, resource constraint, and market acceptance, right? Whether this application is accepted by market or not. So all will do in the risk analysis. It is not like that, like we will just develop the application and release into the market for user. If we will do like that, might be user like we will not get the more benefits, because that application is not like accepted by market itself, right? You have seen many application come in market, and that is not used by the user, right? So that is one of the like wasted of the times, right? So what we are doing in like a spiral model, first we are doing the planning, and after planning is completed, we are doing the risk analysis, and after risk analysis we are doing like engineering. And engineering includes like we'll do the like coding, we do the testing, and finally they evaluate the result and gather feedback, and plan for next iteration. After engineering, we are performing the evaluation. So if this process continue in a spiral manner with each iteration finishing the product based upon the feedback and changes in the requirement. So this is all about like a spiral model. Why we are calling as a spiral? Because in each phases, just we are like planning, doing the risk analysis, then we are doing engineering, then we are implementing the feedback, and again we are moving to like planning, risk analysis, then engineering, then evaluation until the final product is released. So that's why we are calling as a a spiral model. If I talk about advantages, so a spiral model is like ideal for complex project and the and because and it is more flexible and it allow changes into the like development process. Also समझते हैं like next model, what is iterative model? So iterative model is a software development process where development is divided into several iteration or cycle. So what is iterative model? Iterative model is nothing but this is a software development process where soft development process is divided into the small iteration or cycle. So we are just so suppose we have to develop a application, right? So just we are uh, dividing that application into the a small group or a small iteration, and then we are releasing that application into the then just we are developing that application. So each iteration result in a working version of software and allowing for incremental improvement and refinements with each cycle. सो हम क्या करते हैं इटरेटिव मॉडल में, हम क्या करते हैं जो भी हमारा सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट प्रोसेस है उसको हम डिवाइड कर देते हैं स्मॉल इटरेशन और साइकिल में, और ईच इटरेशन में हम लाइक वी आर रिलीजिंग वन टाइप्स ऑफ वर्जन फॉर इंक्रीमेंटल improvement, and just we are doing improvement in that one in each and every cycle. And this approach enables flexibility, collaboration and incorporation of changes throughout the development cycle. So ये इसलिए क्या होता है, ये लाइक दिस प्रोसेस इज मोर फ्लेक्सिबल, we have more time to like develop with the stakeholders like once any version is completed, right? So just we are discussing with stakeholders or product manager how this product is, and if we have any feedback, like then we are implementing, and again we are just developing or implementing that feedback. So this is more flexible compared to like other model like waterfall model, Rad model or V model. And if I talk about key characteristics of iterative, like iterative model, so first one is it is like repetitive cycle. So what we are doing, broken down the iteration or small phases, each, each producing a small version of software, then like incremental development, uh, and fourth one we have like third one we have like feedback and evaluation. Fourth one, this feedback is used to refine requirement and make adjustment to the subsequent iteration. Fourth one, like flexibility and adaptability. In this model, changes can be applied in any stage. So that is one characteristics of iterative model. Risk management. Risks are identified and addressed throughout the iterative cycle, reducing the likelihood of major issue at the later stages. Parallel development. In some cases, iteration may run at same time, allowing different part of the software to be developed simultaneously. So this is all about iterative model. So एक brief review लेते हैं कि what is iterative model. So iterative model is nothing but this is the software development process. In that one, we are developing the dividing the process into the small iteration or cycle, or each cycle in or each iteration we are releasing a like version of software, and after releasing we are getting the feedback and just we are implementing that feedback. So this iterative model makes more flexible, and we have more time to collaborate with like product manager or end user, and also we can incorporate any changes throughout the development life cycle. If I talk about key characteristics, so this is it is in repetitive cycle. So we are just broking the requirement into the small iteration or cycle. Then this is like incremental development process, and each iteration just we are getting the feedback and evaluating that feedback and implementing. And this is more flexible and adaptability. We are performing risk management in each and every cycle or each and every phases throughout the product development. And parallel development, in some cases like iteration may run at the same time, we'll do the testing as well as iteration. So guys, this is all about like software development, like soft SDLC models. So one more model we left, that is agile model. So agile model को हम at the नेक्स्ट वीडियो में समझेंगे, बिकॉज दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट मॉडल एंड 90% ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन दे आर यूजिंग एजाइल मॉडल्स। सो हम नेक्स्ट वीडियो में एजाइल मॉडल्स के बारे में जानेंगे। सो थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग माई वीडियो।